hello. Well, happy Christmas Eve. Yeah. As usual, I've got nothing to show you. Yeah, but I just thought I'd come on anyway and wish you happy Christmas. I mean, I will be doing my live later on, but not everybody watches my live, do they? They're probably all busy wrapping up your prezzies and things like that. As you can see, I've got the lovely Trixie. They've gone to a pantomime with the kiddies, with their grandchildren, not my great-grandchildren. They've gone to a pantomime. I don't know which one, so don't ask me. So I'm left in charge of the two dogs, and this one weighs a ton. So she's, you know, going to cover me in dog hair. Oh! Off she goes for the rest of the programme. Well, I did have a clean dress on, but now it seems to be full of paw prints and dog hair. Hey ho! Such is life when you have an animal. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, they've gone to a pantomime. Oh, I'm a bit far away, aren't I? Come a bit closer, dear. Come closer, come closer. That's better. They've gone to a pantomime with their grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. If you can see anything flashing, by the way, I apologise, it's my tree. You know, I got a bit late, I got up a bit late, so the tree was already switched on and everybody had gone and left me with the dogs and, well, I don't care. So, I've opened my Christmas chocolates. Yes, I know it's a day early, but never mind. There's only so much you can eat on Christmas Day, isn't there? So, you know, you have to excuse me if I've been chomping on a bit of Cadbury's dairy milk. They're my chockies and I'm going to eat them. Sorry, diabetes nurse, if you're watching. Talking about that, I'm going to swap surgeries. We went for my injection prescription on Friday, which I'd ordered on the Monday. Wasn't there. No sign of it. No, it hadn't been ordered. No, nothing at all. I was supposed to inject on Sunday. It's not insulin, don't panic, you know, not vital. So I said we'll do it for the Monday. So we went on the Monday. The computer had broken down and they didn't have my prescription. So my poor daughter-in-law had to wait. She went in for it because it was pouring down. She nipped in. So she had to wait half an hour in the chemist for them to... I thought, that's it. Anyway, my son-in-law was going to his doctor's appointment because he was having an x-ray on his knee. And when we were up at his doctor's, I just said, oh, give me some paperwork. I'm changing my doctor. So I'm changing to somebody a bit more with it. I think I told you I've only seen the doctor once there. And as I went in, he was sort of showing me the door to show me out again, you know. It's not as if I'm there all the time like some people are, you know, every time the little finger hurts, they're at the doctor's. That's not that. I've been once in 2 years while I've been here, once. So I'm not exactly like Mrs. Malingerer or Mrs. Mitherer, am I, you know. Anyway, I'm changing my doctors. So hopefully I might get a bit of sense out of the new one. Because we went out for lunch on Thursday. Was it Thursday? Yeah. My two friends and I went out to lunch. And we went to Affinity, which was used to be known as Freeport, if you're from around these parts. And we had a sort of nice lunch, but I should have chosen something else, let's just say. It was my fault, because I should have chosen something else. Because I'm not a big eater. And this plateful came, you know, with chips, salad and this burger thing. But the turkey was dry as a bone. And I had never seen, you know, like stuffing in a slab before. It was dry. It needed something, you know. It needed to be hot turkey for a cook-off, which is what I thought I was going to get. You know, hot, moist turkey. Instead of cold sliced turkey, which can be very dry unless you, yeah. Anyway, we walked just a little way round Affinity, because I hadn't taken my scooter because I'd had a lift, yeah. And, oh, my back, my leg, my hip. Ugh, I know I don't usually whinge, but my goodness me, was I having a whinge. And even my friend who was with me, she said, "Are you all right?" She said, "You look terrible." And I thought, "Well, that's nice, isn't it? You know, your friend tells you look terrible." I said, "Well, actually, I'm in a lot of pain." So I came home. I took 2 strong painkillers before I went to bed, and boom, I zonked out until it was lunchtime before I woke up on Friday morning. So hey ho. Anyway, I didn't dare go and ask this doctor that was showing me the door, you know, to see another orthopaedic surgeon. I haven't seen anybody about my back or my hip for many, many years because I'm not one of those that complains and minders, you know. But I think it's time. I think it's time I decided to whinge and go see a doctor and say, "Excuse me, but I think there's something wrong." But we shall see what we shall see in the new year. Maybe I'll get some new painkillers. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, I hope you've all parcelled up your presents for Christmas. I'm not doing a lot this Christmas. I parcelled up for my son and my daughter-in-law, parcelled up their presents. My nieces, my sister-in-law, we decided last year or the year before when I moved here. Anyway, excuse me, I need a tissue for my nose. We decided when we moved here that, you know, with half the family living in London now, there's not much point to swapping Christmas presents. It's very nice, but it sort of dwindled to a voucher because that was easier to put in the post, if you're with me. So I said, draw a line under it, you know, just don't buy me anything, I won't buy you anything, end of story. So I think they were kind of relieved as well. You know, that's one thing less for them to think about, isn't it? And also a lot less for me to think about because, like, there was my 2 nieces, my sister-in-law, and my younger niece's 2 children, and their husband. Oh, and my other niece's husband. So there's kind of rather a lot of them. Anyway, we've drawn a line under it and said, end of story, no more. I will see my elder niece. She said she's going to come and see me sometime between Christmas and New Year, so that'll be nice. I won't see Sue. Sue's, you know, up in Scotland, as you know. And she nipped down to see her children just before Christmas because it was her eldest granddaughter's 21st birthday. So those of you who know Sue, she did manage to nip down with the presents and everything to see her family, yeah. Yeah. Would you like me glitter? I'm all glittery, aren't I? Purple as usual. Purple. When I was in Affinity, we went past this bedding shop and they had, like, everything was like 50% off or something. And in the window was this gorgeous purple duvet set. And I thought, no, no, keep on walking. You have got one purple duvet set. How many do you need, yeah? So I carried on walking, yeah. I was very tempted. I was like, it was this colour. Oh, just my colour. But I thought, no, I've got a cream duvet set, a purple pattern duvet set, and another one with purple on underneath my bed. So I thought, no, you've got 3, well, fairly new sets. I mean, one of them's, I think they're all about less than 2 years old, because I bought them when I came here. So I haven't got an excuse for buying a new set, except it was purple. And you know me, purple. Yes. I wonder if you can guess what my favourite colour is. It's purple. Well, I don't do Christmas cards at all. I don't do them, but I do get them sent to me. And one of them was a rather gorgeous one sent to me from Sharon. And if you can see it, I don't know whether you can see it close up, she's made it herself. It's all those little, what do they call them, 5D thingies stuck on. Now, you know I'm not in favour of the pictures for the wall, but that is cute. That is a good sort of use of 5D to me, making a lovely Christmas card. That is so pretty. I think she made me one like similar last year that she'd done herself and made it. She said she'd made it with love, which is rather nice. Thank you, Sharon. Yeah. Now that, I can understand somebody doing a 5D, whatever, if you're going to make something pretty like that. Like a Christmas card. But I don't want a picture of a butterfly or something to stick on the wall. Not my thing at all. I haven't been out to the shed. I said I was going to go out to the shed, but I haven't. It's been raining. I think Fleetwood was practically underwater nearly at one stage. It's rained, and it's rained, and it's more rain. So, no, I haven't been out to the shed. In the spring, I am hoping we are working on some stepping stones so that I don't have to step all over wet grass. And sometimes little hidden treasures, you know, that the dogs have left that you don't see, even though you're scrutinising as you're walking. You always miss one. And then, of course, you've got to wash your shoes when you come in. So, no, I want some stepping stones. I've decided. Stepping stones. I'm doing very well for warmth with the log fire. Very nice. It's more economical than switching the heating on. Because, like, you're paying for it as you go. You know, you're buying your coal as you're going along, you're buying your wood. Oh, the tree started flashing at me then. It's got several different settings, this tree, but it's all sort of culminates in something flashing like that, which is why I'm not showing it you, because I could have somebody that is affected by flashing lights. Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm buying the wood and buying the coal as I'm going along, so it doesn't mean you're getting a nasty bill at the end of the month, do you? I mean, they get a bill for their central heating, but for me, I have my fire on, so that's me done, yeah. Knitting Queen is slightly wrong. It was bought for me by my youngest niece's mother-in-law, because she used to come to Christmas when we used to all have Christmases together. That's another reason why it's a quiet Christmas, because my sister-in-law is in the process of moving to London, so she's no longer hosting Christmas Day dinner anymore. Well, she's 84, I think, 83, 84 in April, so, you know. She's very, very sprightly. In fact, she's more sprightly than I am. But even so, it gets a bit much, doesn't it, you know, when you're making Christmas dinner for everybody. And she does get herself a little bit worked up, you know. Is there enough food? Is there this? Is there this? And we're all like, wait, slow down, it's only us, you know. You don't have to put on a big show because it's only us. Oh, there we go. Nobody ever messaged me until I come on here. So I have been trying. Trying is the word, I'm very trying to do a bit of crochet, but it's not been very successful. I've got a bit to finish on the sleeves, but I've been using up some chunky wool I found in the shed. I think it's Serdar, is it, or Leicester? It's not very good wool, actually. It's Serdar Big Softy. It's very old, very discontinued. But I've been having trouble with it because it's that loosely spun stuff. So if you pull too hard, it just comes apart. So it's been fun crocheting it because I've been like having to piece it together. I don't like to knot in the middle of a row, but unfortunately it's the way it's had to be. Anyway, I'm using it with I bought this masquerade chunky for a lady who said she wanted headbands and wrist warmers to match in fleck, but when she found out, I think, A, how much I paid for the wool, and B, she said she didn't like the colours, so I was stuck with them. So I thought, well, I'll use one of the colours up at least, because I didn't have enough to make a cardigan. It's going to be a shorty cardigan, as you can see. No pattern, don't bother asking. It's the way I roll. If I'm not in the mood for crocheting, the only type of crocheting I'm in the mood for is something basic, easy, and something I can just do. So I don't use patterns. Patterns gives me a headache sometimes, you know. Especially, some of these US ones that tell you every flipping row. I don't want to know every row, and I don't want to know a stitch count at the end of every row. I am not a moron. I just do my own thing. You know, people have often asked me, how did I start off? I will show you one time how I did start off. It won't be a tutorial because I don't do them. But I will show you how I started with my crochet. By laying a sweater that fitted me on a table and crocheting around it. It's simple. It's easy. You get a stitch book, one of those books you buy, or you can look online. that tells you about 6,000 different stitches of crochet. You pick one you like, you sort of do a little sample bit to see how many inches, like 10 stitches is or whatever, and then you work it out from there on in. So, you know, if it's a multiple of 5 plus 1 or something like that, you make sure you've got enough 5s to go across the back. And if you don't get it, then you just alter your hook. It's like, to me, it's dead simple, but maybe I'm talking nonsense to somebody who doesn't know what I'm talking about. It's like if I need 5 stitches for my pattern, and a multiple of 5 works out too big or too small for the back I want, I will alter my hook size until I get it to be the right size that 5 like goes into my back measurement. Yeah, easy. There's no maths involved. You just, that's the way I did it, and that's the way I taught myself to do it. Yeah. Don't forget, when I was crocheting way back in the 50s, there weren't any of these patterns. I mean, now, there was no crochet books, nothing like that. You were lucky if you saw a pattern that wasn't a doily, you know. I think there were some baby patterns, but they were all in like 2-ply or 3-ply, which, if you're in America, that's like lace weight practically. And tiny little metal hooks, you know. Oh, talking about hooks, I wanted a 7mm. And it appears that Susan Bates doesn't do them with the wooden handle like I like. So I went on and I'm browsing, and what did I find? I found an Aero. They're like gold dust. My mum and dad used to sell Aero knitting needles, crochet needles when I was in the shop. And I do have quite a lot in the shed. But not a 7mm. So I found one. I was so thrilled. I thought, oh, nostalgia. An Aero crochet hook. It doesn't have the inline hook that I like, but I shall make it do. It's funny though, I never used to crochet with an inline hook. I used to crochet with the ones with the blob on, you know, like the, what she called the boy hooks, yeah, they've got the blob on the end. And, but when I changed to Susan Bates and I changed to the inline hook, I can't go back now. There's odd sizes that Susan Bates doesn't do. Well, she does do them, but she doesn't do them in the ones with the wooden handle or the plastic handle. So I either have to use her see-through resin hooks, or I have to go back to another style of hook. I've given away so many hooks in my career, if you know what I mean, my crochet career, because I can't use them. I can't use the ones with the big blobs on the end. It's just the what you're used to, isn't it? Because when people say to me, which is the best hook to use, I go, the best hook that you can use is the best hook, not the best hook that I use. You know, I'm not one of these people, oh, you've got to use this, or you've got to use that, or you've got to use this wool, you've got to use that wool. You've got to knit this way, you've got to crochet that way, you're holding your hook wrong. No. I mean, I watch some people crochet and I think, my God, you know, you're knitting it. You know, you're so slow. And when I watch them knit on, you know, those worms, I call them, circular needles, and they're like in, over, through, off, in, over, through, off, in, over, through, off, and I'm like, huh? Because I put one needle under my arm and I'm like, ticka, 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 ticka. So in, over, through, off, and drive it back. And I watch these videos and I'm thinking, you're so slow. You know, do you ever manage to make a pair of socks? Because you're so slow, you know. Mind you, I used to knit standing up in the shop. It's no wonder I've got bad back and bad hip, because I never sat down. To me, it was more aggro because it was a busy shop. People were always coming in, and you knitted in between customers if you weren't doing the shelves off. When I talk about doing the shelves off, I mean pulling them off, making them look tidy and nice and everything. We had shops in sort of dirtier towns where you were on the main road and dust and dirt used to come in. So there was no way you could have open plan shelves like you do at some places in America where the wool's all prettily dotted in these little cubby holes. Ours had to be covered. cellophane or whatever. You couldn't have them like, you know, otherwise they'd be filthy. You know, the dust used to come off the main road and it'd be filthy. It wasn't too bad when I was in the shopping precinct because then there wasn't any traffic going past, you know, only people. But then, of course, we used to have an ice cream van used to come and stop on the precinct. And mums used to buy their kiddies an ice lolly or an ice cream to keep them quiet while they came in to choose some more. And the kiddies would be their ice cream all along. And you'd be like, don't do that, you know. I'm sorry, love, but can you ask your child not to, you know. Don't you like children in this shop? I'm not coming in here. I'm going to tell everybody that you hate kids. So can you imagine if my wall hadn't to be in cellophane? Ugh. Ice cream all along it. Yeah. Sweet children. I love them, really. My dad used to have this massive big teddy bear. It used to be my son's. When my dad bought my son this teddy bear, probably for one Christmas or his birthday or something, it was bigger than him. I think he was months old when he got this teddy. This teddy stood about the same height as a 3-year-old, you know. So when my son finished playing with it, didn't want it anymore, it finished up in the shop. So my dad's tactic was to bring this teddy out and plonk it to this child, you know, say, play with this for a bit. You know, we had a selection of toys like my son had done with, you know, like play with these for a bit. Stop them wrecking the shop. Because he used to take buttons off the cards, you know, pull them off. The mothers used to come and give me the crumpled up card back and the buttons and say, I'm sorry, but he seems to have done something to these. You feel like saying, well, are you going to buy them now? Because nobody else will. Yes. Well-behaved children. Brilliant. Used to have quite a lot of children who were very well behaved. But there were just a few that were like hell on legs. Yeah. Don't do that. They were always called Tarquin or something ridiculous, yeah. Don't do that. Mummy doesn't like you doing that. The lady's getting angry with you. The lady's going to shout at you. Why use me? Why tell the kid that I'm going to shout at him? Why make me the baddie? You should shout at your kid and tell it not to do that. Yeah. Oh dear, what a subject for Christmas Eve. We should be all jolly. I'm always sad that I can't play a bit of music. I can't have... Before, when I was getting ready, I had carols on and Christmas music and stuff like that. But of course, they flag you. YouTube will flag you when you put anything like that on. And I shall spare you my singing. I won't sing you any carols. I'll spare you that bit. You never know if I'm on the eggnog, which I haven't got. If I'm on the Baileys, let's say, tonight, you know, you might get a little carol out of me. I'll be there chomping me chocolates, you know. And I might get a glass of Baileys just to, you know, cheers, cheers everybody, you never know. Oh, one of the dogs was rearranging the cushions on my sofa. I don't know why I call it my sofa. I should call it Rosie's dog bed, because that's where she stays most of the time. And the little one's asleep as well. Oh, the lights are flashing again. I'm sorry if you see in the corner of your eye. It's got about 12 programmes and each one of them seems to contain one bit that flashes every now and again. Very annoying. Hey ho, I chose the lights, my fault. I haven't put any other Christmas decorations up and I was sort of forced into the tree because my daughter-in-law went plump and plopped the box in the middle of the living room. There's your tree. So it sat there for about a week and a half and then I thought, well, you know, it's either move the box or have the box there all over Christmas, you know, and so I decided I would reluctantly trim it up. I've got my nativity, of course. It's not my original nativity, which I sadly accidentally threw away when I moved here. The one I'd had from being from being born, I think. I think it was maybe my brother's nativity. The only casualty of that one was baby Jesus. One year when I was about 6, I decided to light the candles. But we had a little sort of nativity crib. made out of cardboard, you know, and bits of cotton wool and stuff on the top to look like snow. I decided I would like the candles. We didn't like the candles, they were just either side for decoration. I lit the candles, didn't I? Don't know where I got the matches from, but I lit the candles. And it set fire to the cotton wool, set the whole nativity ablaze, and baby Jesus was made of wax. So unfortunately I melted baby Jesus. Oh God, I was heartbroken. So we tried all over to get a new baby Jesus, and the only one we could find, he looked like a sumo wrestler. So we had like the shepherds and the sheep, or one of the cows or whatever it was, had only got one leg, and I think one of the sheep had an ear missing. But you know, that's nativity, isn't it? And we managed to find a baby Jesus in the end, but of course he was out of scale. So he looked like this huge sumo wrestler baby with his mum, and if she'd have given birth to that poor little Mary, she'd have been in, well, more than stitches. This huge sumo wrestler baby in the middle. And I tried for years and years and years to get a tiny little baby Jesus and couldn't. Anyway, this nativity I bought it off Amazon, I think, or maybe eBay last year. And it's got a little baby Jesus, and he would have fitted in perfectly if I'd have kept the other nativity. But we were throwing things out, and my son said, do you want this Christmas tree? Do you want these Christmas decorations? And I was like, no, I don't want them, don't want them. And it was only later that I realised that my own nativity was in with the box of Christmas decorations. So I was very upset. Because when you've had something for being a child, it's like nostalgia, isn't it? It was battered, it was bruised, I tell you. One of the sheep had one ear, and I think the cow had 3 legs. I think Mary had a chip in her, you know. Yeah, I'd had them. 70 years I'd had them, yeah. So, I do hope somebody found them and they didn't get smashed up in bits on the tip. That would have been so sad. Yeah. But it's not the same Christmas anymore now for me. Christmas was all about family. Yes, I know, I've got my son and my daughter-in-law here. But it's not the same as the whole family. I mean, my brother's no longer here. My sister-in-law carried on the tradition after my mother passed away. But it's not the same. It's like when my mum and my dad were there, and my brother and my sister-in-law, the kids. Even my ex-husband, you know, the always late ex-husband, who made us late for every Christmas dinner ever, but that's just a sore point we won't talk about. But, you know, there was a whole house full of us, and that was what Christmas was about to me. And it's just not the same anymore now. I've lost my Christmas spirit, I've lost my ho-ho-ho. I will try tonight with the live, you know, to try to be no ho-ho-ho, but sadly it has just passed me by this year. I just can't get into the mood. I mean, I've never been one for going out at Christmas, even when I was married. We used to go out New Year's Eve, because my mum used to always have my son New Year's Eve. Christmas Eve I always wanted. We did it one year, I think we went out Christmas Eve. My ex-husband insisted we went out Christmas Eve. And I was heartbroken on Christmas morning because I wasn't there to see my son open his presents. Anyway, that is telling me now I should shut up. So I will see you all on my live later on. And I hope you have a very happy Christmas. Bye for now.